This is an interesting one because I don't know if you've heard, fam. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden said, we're not going to ban fracking. We're not going to ban fracking. So
no, I didn't know.
No.
So Howie Hawkins actually came out after AOC after she did an interview where she was kind of wishy-washy on the whole fracking thing. In fact, she said that she didn't care. It didn't bother her specifically. So he said AOC has repeatedly refused to call for an immediate ban on fracking and or a halt to new fossil fuels. She took my Green New Deal, added 20 years to the timeline, and stripped out our call for public ownership of our energy system and a massive cut in the military budget to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So Howie Hawkins did write a version of the Green New Deal for the Green Party. Jill Stein actually tweeted something about AOC in the very beginning. If we recall, we kind of gave her a little bit of criticism for not giving them credit. And so Jill Stein said, hey, you should give credit where it's due. And she tweeted that out way before. So here's the video. Let's just take a look and watch it.
Be completely candid, Vice President Biden's position on the issue of fracking has been confusing. During the primary, he sounded supportive of a ban. On Saturday, he told voters in Pennsylvania, quote, I'm not banning fracking, period. It sounds like now he's on the other side of this issue from you. Does it bother you?
It does not bother me. I believe, and I have a very strong position on fracking. The science is very clear. The methane emissions from fracking are up to 64 times more powerful than CO2 emissions at trapping heat in the air. And just from a perspective of stopping climate change, there is a scientific consensus. However, that is my view. Vice President Biden has made very clear that he does not agree with a fracking ban. And I consider that, it will be a privilege to lobby him should we win the White House. But we need to focus on winning the White House first. And I'm happy to make my case, but I also understand that he is in disagreement on that issue.
Do you worry that his opposition to a fracking ban is going to hurt young voter turnout?
Well, I believe that young people right now have a very disciplined activist mindset, and they are not here with the intent of voting for their favorite person or voting for, someone that they think is perfect as president. I think young people are actually quite disciplined and quite realistic and pragmatic in their vote, and they want to vote for who they are going to lobby. Right now, young people are so clear on their stances on many political issues that they believe that they want to vote for a president that is at least going to be receptive to their advocacy, activism, and protest, frankly. And so, there is no question that Joe Biden is a much better person in that position to be receptive and actually listen to the voices of advocates than Donald Trump, who is intensely focused on enriching himself and his friends.
So.
And Biden isn't. Okay.
Fam, they want to vote for somebody who's going to be receptive and ignore their bullshit.
I will not ban fracking.
I will not ban, but at least he's receptive.
Joe Biden will not ban fracking. I'm going to go tweet about it. Joe Biden will not ban fracking, but he's so much more receptive to it because why? Because he's not Donald Trump. Okay, so first of all, she is if this were anybody but AOC, if this were Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, anybody, progressives would be like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. How that's horrible. Look at the words she's using. Pragmatic, disciplined. They're not voting for somebody they like. Realistic. Who used those words on progressives 4 years ago? Hillary Clinton and her minions, literally the same type of verbiage. And she's painting it like, look, if you're not disciplined to vote for Joe Biden, then you must be a moron because it's the disciplined thing to do. It's the realistic thing to do. She's basically talking about purity tests. She's like, these people aren't going to vote for somebody that, they like in particular, like it's like the gaslighting once again from 4 years ago. It is actually far worse than what she said about the Green New Deal. Well, because it's like, we know Joe Biden's not going to ban fracking, right?
Yeah,
We know he's not going to ban fracking. But on top of that, she literally doubles down on the whole, you got to vote for Joe Biden because that is the right thing to do. Forget your single issues, your purities. You got to vote for Joe Biden. That's discipline. Young people are smart, you know?
I think they should really, when you're out there nowadays and you're paying attention to politics, pay attention to policy. Look up policy, look and see what happens.
Right.
The word salad, the, what's the word I'm looking for? The little fluff that they give you, that they think they're going to give you something, it just isn't true. Because if you really want to ask me, who do you think we can move? And I would be curious to see who the audience themselves, would it be easier to move Biden or Obama to the left?
I mean, I don't think you can move politicians to the left because if they take this money and if they're controlled by these special interests. So
yeah. But if I had to pick one, I would think Obama would be a little bit more receptive to the younger people. He was a little bit more hip, whatnot, whatever. But this right here, this next tweet you have up, just proves you if you're not going to move Obama, in a certain how the hell are you going to move Biden? But go ahead, fam.
So I just also wanted to point out that the let's just read this first. Okay,
Yeah.
so Catherine Rose Fisher wrote, in 2013, under Obama, we stood outside the White House with hundreds of activists and orgs to protest the Keystone Pipeline. There were protests every day for over a year, and every day was the same. Clear out, get arrested, rinse, repeat. What lobbying is AOC talking about?
So my point exactly. If you're not going to move Obama, how the hell are you going to move fucking Biden? Like, that's just not possible.
And also the bigger point is Biden was already part of the Obama administration, and like Obama had already been elected. So you have nothing to push Biden anyway, which way for. He's not under threat by you at this moment. Like, they genuinely think they can win, or that they genuinely think that you don't matter, because like they're like, it doesn't matter where he stands. He's not going to ban fracking. You already said you were going to vote for him. It doesn't matter. He's not going to get Medicare for all. You already said you're going to vote for him. So why do you think you can push and lobby somebody? And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, the lobbying aspect of it. Like, it's my privilege to lobby. Do we really need to speak like that? Like, I mean, I know it's just rhetoric, but it's not Biden is a piece of shit. He is a horrible politician. He is a warmonger. He's awful, just as bad as Donald Trump. And you're painting this idea that he's much better when he isn't. And you're painting it like, oh, it's a privilege. So if it was Trump, it wouldn't be a privilege, even though policy-wise, Biden hasn't been any better. In fact, he's been worse because he has a record of being a politician.
47 years.
So why is it a privilege? Why do you have to say it like that? People are freaking dying out here.
Yeah.
People are poor. There's no privilege in this. There's no dignity in this. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
And for somebody who's supposed to be the representation of progressivism, the Yas Queen, who is supposed to lead the Democratic Socialists into a bastion of progressive virtues, she's not doing that at all, and she's leading them into despair and back into a dead Democratic
She's leading them back
Party.
into hell. You know what I'm saying? And the privilege lies with her because it doesn't affect her, those policies. The crime bill never affected you, AOC, and it's not going to affect you. One way we look at it, when Biden says there will be no systemic change, then why make the switch? Why not sweat the 4 years instead of the 8? And the fact is that these people, right now, where is AOC drawing a line in the sand? You know what I'm saying? They're continuing to play the same game that got us into this position. And I've said this before. This is just further evidence. If this is the future of the Democratic Party, no thank you. Because if you're going to just bend and fold to people like Biden, who've had awful, awful policies for so many years. I mean, he took fracking money. Obama was the fracker in chief. So, I mean, what are you doing? You're doing nothing. And once again, it's a privilege to vote for this and lobby for this. It's disgusting. But then we have other schmucks.
Well, that mindset,
like this guy.
real quick,
Yeah.
that mindset is really dangerous. It's so crazy to see where we've gone with from AOC. You know, how you guys even, you guys helped organize an event here in Los Angeles to now she's saying this shit.
Yeah.
It's stuck into that mindset. Like, that mindset is so terrible. Yeah. Just accept what's going on now. It's either Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
No option for a third party at all. You can't.
You have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
You have to be disciplined. Pick one of those two choices. That's all we got in this fucked up world.
And
that's a fucked up view of the.
And I just want to say that it's not. This isn't about like her pushing Trump or Biden, and I don't agree that she should push either of them. What she should be doing is talking about what could be done on a direct action basis. She should be helping to lead these movements. People are like, well, she can't save us. It's like, nobody can save us.
Yeah,
that's not the point. But she's a
again.
leader.
Yeah.
She's a leader, and she's a person in Congress. People are already rising up for different things. Her voice would be so powerful. Same thing she could have done during the Twitch. Instead of telling people to go vote for Joe Biden, she could have literally been like, hey, what, let's do this. Let's organize this general strike. Let's do this. Like, you guys are already doing this. What other ideas do you have that could potentially lead to actually pushing politicians through direct action? Because that's the only way shit ever gets done, you guys. It doesn't get done in the ballot box, not in the system we have. People love to talk about Bolivia, and I'm going to talk about that later, but it's like, this is not, you need direct actions, and she has the power to do that, and she hasn't done that. Yeah. And David Dole.
But by the way, let me just say really quick with the direct actions, it's ripe for that time. This is
Absolutely.
why we're waiting for Bernie Sanders right now. This is your time with the squad. If you guys were for real, you would have been out there right now in the streets walking, opposing the Democratic Party, moving away from it, calling for a general strike, not signing on to any CARES Act unless the people got what they wanted. But you didn't. Instead, you used this time, you used your platform to go and push Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So that's why I think, unfortunately, they've just done so much damage to themselves that they'll never be able to recover this. I believe that AOC can win a primary. I believe she can never win a general election. That's my personal opinion.
So David Dole said AOC and Bernie Sanders have done more for the left in 4 years than the U.S. Green Party has done in its entire existence. Okay, so this isn't about Bernie Sanders. I love how David Dole just brings him in and just puts that out there. First of all, Bernie Sanders isn't a Democrat. So if your whole point is that Democrats have done more, he wasn't a Democrat. He started out as an actual socialist. I mean, 1996 Bernie would slap the crap out of this Bernie right now if they met each other, right? But AOC has been in Congress for about 2 years, and a little over 2 years, and she has done what? Legislatively, nothing. That's a non-binding resolution. By the way, the Green New Deal was a non-binding resolution that didn't include fracking. Yeah. So she took the Green Party's she took the Green Party's Green New Deal and completely washed it out of the actual things that it actually made it strong. And it was a non-binding resolution, number one. And number two, AOC hasn't done anything legislatively. She hasn't actually pushed legislation. What she has done is made it a brand to be a democratic socialist. So now that people think they're so woke and progressives think they're so woke now, as AOC being their leader, now it's like, oh, it's cool to be a democratic socialist. But you see that word democratic, that attachment, that basically has turned into a co-option back into the Democratic Party. So instead of building cadres outside and building strength and doing direct actions, she has built that for the Democratic Party. So now the next generation of people are being pretty much herded into this party through AOC because they're like, oh, this is progressive. This is good. We need more people like the squad, blah, blah, blah.
Our squad is getting bigger.
Exactly. So now we're going back into that party. You notice none of them ever talk about third parties. Right now, at a moment where the Green Party has been kicked off the ballot, and you don't have to like the Green Party. You don't have to like Howie Hawkins. You can say whatever you want. If you have your issues with them, whatever. This is not about that. This is about justice and truth and what's right. And what would have been right for the squad, progressives, is to go in there and be like, you know what? Yeah, it's the Green Party might be a different party, but guess what? They're getting their names removed from ballots. That's not democratic. That's not fair. I'm a progressive. If I'm a progressive, I support that, right? Wouldn't you, as a progressive, be like, this should be the right thing to do. We should speak out against this. Guys, this is not fair. You should let them have a fair shake.
But they were never doing that. They were joining the ranks from the get-go. They never really opposed this Democratic Party the way they should have. It's kind of scary too as well where we're at right now, because where they at on election integrity, civil liberties, cheering it on, they're pro-imperialist. They can't even get these things right. Where it's your Green New Deal, it's your Medicare for all. Those are the things you should be pounding. Biden, like, we're not going to endorse him until he endorses these ideas. They can't even literally get that right. I mean, so what are you getting by voting for Joe Biden this time? Really, seriously, nothing's going to systemically change. So it's right up here. Nothing's going to systemically change, and you're getting nothing for voting for these people. And it's just a shame that AOC, the squad, they're just cheering this stuff on. I don't know what they've done for the future, and I can't stand it when I hear people say our squad is getting bigger. From a guy like Jamal Bauman, who's praising his meeting with Obama, whatnot. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, that's the squad. We're pro-Obama squad. That's not the squad. That's not progressive. That's establishment. That's standing behind Wall Street. That's standing behind the military-industrial complex. You're not doing anything radical or left to really fucking oppose the Democratic Party if you go along with this right now. That's why I'm saying there are other choices on your ballot. You don't have to run away to go to Trump, but you can go elsewhere. Fam, let's talk about your good friend, Josh Fox.
Yes, my very good friend.
Vote Biden, he puts.
So Howie Hawkins
Radical.
said, this is what he said. He is a destructive, egomaniacal liar. His Green Party accepts the help of the GOP. He's a delusional spoiler. If Greens are supposed to be a progressive alternative, how come they lie and power grab and grab power just the same as all the other politicians? First of all, again, aside of however you may feel about Howie Hawkins, because I know a lot of people aren't necessarily fond of him, this comparison to the GOP is absolutely disgusting. That is a neoliberal tactic. Oh, the Green Party are helping the GOP. They're spoilers. Why? Because they exist? Because your two-party system is a piece of shit and like the people need better choices because the two-party system has failed the American people because they lie. Democrats lie and steal elections and you want us to vote for that? You never talk about that, Josh. Like, no, stop.
I'm
Like,
surprised
this
he
is
didn't
so
mention
ridiculous.
Russia. He missed Russia.
Oh, yeah,
Usually he
at
brings
this
that up.
one.
There was two people that I really disappointed me in 2016. I was like, wow, Josh Fox, and wow, what's his name? John Oliver. Those two people, I was like, holy shit, they just came out and bashed Jill Stein and the Green Party like there's no tomorrow. And now the comparison to the GOP, why didn't you just throw in he's a Russian spy?
I mean, he's done it before. I don't think he fit it in the tweet. But
Did we? He always does it. Did we read Howie Hawkins' tweet, by the way?
yeah.
We
Yes,
did?
Yeah, in the very beginning.
Because I could have read it in a Howie
So-
Hawkins voice, but...
It's crazy how Howie's actually seeing it, right? Howie can see it, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then, Josh Fox, does he talk about how Biden literally has GOP people come into the Democratic convention?
No, he doesn't talk
So
about
it's
that.
like fucking hypocritical.
And his whole cabinet, the people that are being looked for his cabinet are a bunch of neocons and neoliberals, and zero mention of Bernie Sanders, by the way. I don't know where Burners are getting this idea that Bernie Sanders is going to be this and that, labor secretary, etc. Like, Joe Biden's team has not mentioned that at all.
They've been looking at, they've been quoting
where you're getting
Republicans.
that.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to float out there right now to get people involved and stuff. When people start coming back at you, I mean, you hear the crazy stuff like, if Trump gets elected, you're going to get deported, right? I mean, that's the crazy shit you'll hear out there. And people will throw these ideas out there. They'll just spread like wildfire online. That's why if you can control these platforms, you can control a lot of the information.
Yep.
And it's very, very scary. And make no mistake about it, John, the Green Party is winning the war of ideas. Mark Lippman talked about it in his book. The ideas that the Green Party have are great when it comes to a Green New Deal, when it comes to, Medicare for all. They're pro-labor. You know what I'm saying? Howie Hawkins is just a bad candidate who slipped up on a lot of things and did take some of the narratives, the mainstream narratives in certain areas when it came to the election last time and ran with it when he came to the whole Syria thing and whatnot. I mean, he has slipped up. But the Green Party itself, the ideas, the majority of the ideas that the progressives within the Democratic Party love, they come from the Green Party. You know what I'm saying? Those people that, they really do. That's where they were born.
Yeah.
That's where they were born.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And this idea that a spoiler, that's only if you operate from the mindset that there are only two choices that people have to choose, right? So no, you bad person, you cannot think outside the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, but since we're Democrats, you're never going to vote Republican. So you really have no choice. Your choice alone is only to be a Democrat. And if you think outside of that, you're delusional. You're being a spoiler. That's not reality. That is like some bullshit mind control that they're trying to put on people. You have far many more choices than that. The reason we're in this shit situation is because people haven't realized that. They have been continuously manipulated through fear mongering, through their emotions, through, oh my God, if you don't vote for Trump, all these children are going to die. It's like, Obama and Biden started all of this, you guys. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to defend Trump. I'm saying this because that is the fact. That is a reality. It is hypocritical to pretend and all of a sudden start caring right now. When we were committing regime change during Obama's presidency, no one gave a shit because everybody was so enamored by him.
At brunch.
AOC worries me in that same sense. People are so enamored by her charisma, by her rhetoric, and like they completely have forgotten that she was set there to oppose the establishment, not join it and literally become one of them, which is what she's showing she's doing already.
And it's scary to see some of those people just get in line with her, like David Doel, whatever you want to say it. Hassan Piker said the same thing. You have to protect her at all costs. I'm like, what did she ever do legislative-wise to be free of any criticism for us? I mean, what has she done besides go out there and stomp her feet, Green New Deal, vote for Bernie Sanders? Nothing. Gunstar1, thank you for the super chat contribution. It's always appreciated on the couch. Tim Dillon put it best. AOC is a fraud. Tim Dillon is a right-wing comedian of sorts. He does a lot of Epstein stories. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty funny. He's a big guy, but go check him out if you like. Thank you for the super chat contribution. Sebastiano, I love that. I don't know if you guys do request, but if so, could we all watch the YouTube video where Ted Turner asked Carl Sagan if he's a socialist for some inspiration? Thank you, Convo Couch. That's old school. Let's see if we can get that up maybe one day.
End, yeah.
And I do have one more super chat contribution. Guys, we have 550 people here hanging out. Thank you so much for Fiorella rants. I can't stand Josh Fox. He's a grifter. Fam, you should cut that up and kind of put that up on your Twitter, that rant there, because people do love your rants. They love my cooking, your rants, Johnny's haircut. That's the way it goes. Guys, Johnny, anything else about this subject before we move on? Because don't get lost in the sauce. The AOC took my deal. She just put a little things on it, put it out there. And that's why we're my Green New Deal.
I didn't even bring it up because it's not worth putting these people out and giving them attention. But somebody was trying to say that he was being sexist. Howie Hawkins is sexist because he said it was my Green New Deal. Well, he wrote it. It's like they're using the state. These are progressive sycophants to AOC. It's like they're using the same tactics that the neoliberals use.
Are they even progressive though?
I mean, but they are on a lot of other issues. That's what I'm saying. It's not even. I think it's about the worshiping of politicians, the deifying of these politicians, the idolatry that they put on these politicians, because it's like they want to cling their hope on somebody so bad that they can't change, right? Their mindset. Like, I met AOC when she was still a bartender. Like, I'm not even, this isn't all of a sudden I hate AOC. No, I don't even hate AOC. I am disappointed because to me, I was like, wow, like this is somebody that seems to really understand what's going on. Fast forward 3 years later, and look where we're at. I mean,
let's be honest,
did the
though.
work.
Yeah.
We were there with
something
her.
happened
we were
to her. Something happened. We went to the campaign, you know what I'm saying? And she was there. We saw her in Jimmy Dore. She never went back on Jimmy Dore. She was told not to go there as far as I'm concerned. She just stayed away from the progressives. She went right into that Democratic establishment comfortable seat, joined Mama Bear instead of opposing her, and that was the end of it. Now here we are today. She's not drawing a line on anything, and in fact, she's folding. I think Dick Medhurst said it best. It must be exhausting to wake up every day and try to bullshit yourself to go vote for Joe Biden. It's tough.